After I turned 17, nobody gave me the money. It's so sad.
Oh, wow.
It's okay,
What about
Jada.
you? What about you?
Oh, after 10, I stopped getting money.
Idea to audio.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Idea to Audio, where we don't cap, just spill. Hi, I'll be your host for today, Ahmed Wael, and I'm here with my partner.
Iman.
And today we have yet another sensational episode for you. So today we have a very special guest with us. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Jada. I'm 17 years old. Oh, I'm 18 actually. I'm from Phuket, Thailand.
All right, Jada, welcome to our podcast. How are you feeling today?
I kind of nervous today, but after seeing you guys, I feel kind of
It's
okay.
okay, don't be nervous. We're all here to have a great time.
Okay.
Okay, so for today's episode, we'll actually be exploring Islam in different parts of the globe.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so Jada, can you give a bit of like a background in terms of your Islamic practices in Thailand?
Oh, actually, I wasn't exposed to Islamic practices since I was younger, even though I grew up in a Muslim family. I went to a non-Islamic schools when I was younger and most of my life until I turned 16. And I even celebrated Christmas, Halloween, and I didn't think it was like wrong or in line to my religion. Okay, so a bit deeper to my background. When I was 12, my dad hired a Quran teacher to teach me at my home. And after the course finished, all I could recite is Alif Ba Ta. Yeah, you know, because without
It's
understanding
okay.
and knowing the purpose of it,
yeah.
so I don't know why should I do this. Okay, so coming to the biggest turning point in my life, when I completed IGCSE, and I had about 7-month gap break until A-level intake here. So during this 7 months, I feel like I was bored, and one day I scrolling on my TikTok, and one video popped up, which was a reward guy who converted from Christianity to Islam.
Oh, wow, that's really interesting.
And it was kind of touchful, and I pressed the like button on it. And suddenly, all of my FYP, my feed, was full of Islamic contents.
Wow.
And I kind of like watch it over and over, and I understand it slowly and slowly.
You fell in love with
Yeah,
Islam.
it kind of like that.
Yeah.
And then again, my dad asked me or told me he gonna hire Quran teacher again this time, and then
So that means that your Quran lesson stopped for a while?
yeah, for like 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So after that, I feel like, okay, I want to challenge myself this time. If I can do it, yeah, it's gonna be good for me, right?
Yeah.
And after a month, my Quran classes finished. Alhamdulillah, I was able to read Quran at a basic level, pray full time, and then become a hijabi like I am now.
Very,
That's
very touching story.
heartwarming. Yeah. I think that just goes to show the power of TikTok.
Yeah.
It's very influential, like nowadays, social media.
So, was your family Muslim when you were born, or
Yeah,
no?
yeah, my family is a Muslim.
You know, you live in Phuket,
Yeah,
right?
Phuket.
So it's like towards the bottom, northeast, south? South?
Yeah, the south part of Thailand.
Yeah. So, do you think that Islam the practicing of Islam there is like common?
Common. Some group of people is just like religious, but some group of people is like just Islam, but just Muslim by the names. That's it.
Oh, so they don't like actively
practices. Yeah.
practice Islam. Oh.
So, is there a lot of Islamophobia where you grew up?
Yeah, a lot. Especially the people in my school. There are a lot of Islamophobia toward it Muslim. Yeah.
Oh, really? So how did you adjust to that?
Actually, when I was there, I didn't reveal myself as Muslim, so that's why to avoid those kind of Islamophobic stuff.
So you would say it was pretty difficult
Yeah,
growing up
it's
to
very
be
difficult
Islam,
for me,
you
I
know?
guess.
Okay, so you said that you live like towards the bottom. What about in Bangkok? Do you think there's difficulties, like heavier difficulties?
Yeah,
faced?
I do think so because Bangkok is the capital of Thailand, right?
Yeah.
So Thailand basically is a free country, so they accept everything, like LGBTQ plus and many more things. Yes.
Because when I one time I had a transit at Thailand, and I saw that there were quite a lot of Muslims there. So do you think that in Thailand there's a lot of Muslims, or is it just, you know, the part where certain parts of Thailand?
Just a certain part of Thailand because the north part,
Yeah.
they're not so many Muslim there. Since the south part is near Malaysia, right? So the
Yeah.
culture is like Malaysian also.
Yeah. Yeah, you look Malay actually.
Okay, I have got
That's a
that a lot.
compliment. Yeah, very beautiful. Okay, so what about you, Ahmed? What about your Islamic background?
Well, as you guys know, I'm from Egypt, but Egypt is a Muslim country. Almost 90% of Egypt
yes.
is Islam. So I didn't really have much difficulties, much challenges growing up to be a Muslim. Obviously, I was born in a Muslim family. I was taught Islam from the age of 1 or 2, I guess you could say. So there wasn't really much difficulties. So it was pretty good, you know. I'm actually pretty thankful and grateful that I get to grow up in a Islamic country where I don't have to be ashamed
Yeah.
or I don't have to be scared to tell everyone my religion.
Yeah, that's a very good thing. Like, for me, it's pretty obvious that I'm from Malaysia, but you know, since Islam is also like the main religion here, so it's very easy to practice Islam. Like, if you go to any shopping malls, you can just like encounter a prayer room, which in other countries is like quite hard. In Thailand, is it hard to approach a prayer room?
Yeah, definitely. Like in the mall, right? It's quite small for the prayer
But
room.
it's there, right?
Yeah, some of
Or
the place.
Some. Okay.
So would you say that coming here to Malaysia was a very great decision for you?
Yeah, definitely. I actually grateful for being here in Malaysia.
So can you tell us about your transition from Thailand to Malaysia in an Islamic perspective?
Okay, all right. So basically, when I first came here, right, I felt new to me. I feel welcome as a hijabi because that time I was like a beginner to the hijab, and I feel like nobody judged me. Compared to Thailand, everybody will look at me like I don't know, feel scared and feel insecure, thinking that am I weird or am I different from everyone else? Yeah.
Oh, it's okay, Jada. You're accepted here.
Actually, relating to Jaida with facing difficulties growing up practicing Islam, I was actually raised in the US.
Really? That's so interesting.
Yeah. So first I was born in Egypt, but then 2 weeks
Oh.
later, my whole family, we all traveled to the US.
Oh, you immigrated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you guys know, obviously the US isn't really an
Yeah.
Islamic country.
Not very Islamic friendly. I
Yeah.
heard that the Islamophobia there is quite extreme.
Yeah, it is quite high. Plus, back then, Islam wasn't really practiced a lot. There wasn't many Muslims, especially in the U.S. So it was pretty difficult there. But then, since I was still a child, I didn't really face much difficulties. But the ones who faced difficulties were mostly my parents. So obviously, the first year for us was the hardest part because we're new there.
Yeah, you had to adapt.
Yeah, it's a new country, Islam isn't practiced there. We didn't have any connections. So it was quite a struggle. So most of my practices were in my house. So my parents were the ones that were teaching me everything, how to read Quran, how to practice my salah and stuff like that. But then as the years went by, things started getting better because, my parents made some Muslim friends. We had Muslim neighbors as well. We were introduced to the mosques there in the U.S. And then finally, I guess, we were a bit more confident in practicing our Islam there. We started celebrating Eid. We started practicing Ramadan and all of that. So I guess it was difficult at the start, but then as the days went by, things started getting better and better.
Did you find it hard to find halal food?
That was the hardest
Yeah.
part there. Yeah. Since most restaurants, actually every restaurant,
Yeah.
and they don't really have halal food at all.
So you had to resort to seafood?
Yes, mostly seafood we would eat, or like pastries. You know, some things that it's, I guess you could say, it's always halal.
Did you turn vegetarian?
Yes, yes, that was the worst part.
Yeah,
Whenever,
I feel like if I go to the UK, like, how will I survive
yeah.
without meat?
So whenever I would order a pizza, it would be a vegetable pizza.
Yeah.
So it's like quite dull and sad, but you know, you had to do what you had to do to stay
Yeah.
living there.
Okay, so what about you, Jada? Do you find it hard to find halal food in Thailand?
In terms of halal food in Thailand, is it very hard to find, especially in mall? Because inside the mall, mostly there are like non-halal restaurants, but except for the food court and the place near the mosque or in Muslim community or village. Yeah, but sometimes it cannot be trusted also, as they put the fake halal sign in front of the restaurants. So that's
just
why.
to attract people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you also said when you were younger, you didn't really practice Islam much. Does that mean you also ate non-halal food?
Oh, there were so many times that I went out eating with my friends, and I said to myself that I actually lied to myself. You can actually say that. That is fine as long as you're not eating a piece of pork, even though I don't know what the soup is made of.
I see.
Oh. So
Yeah.
your main restriction was just pork.
Yeah, that's my understanding that time.
Oh, okay. So I think relating to you, Ahmed, when I was younger, I used to live in the UK.
Oh wow.
Yeah, interesting. So in the UK, actually, I lived in the Midlands, so which was Nottingham. So there were a lot of like Pakistani people, so it wasn't hard to find halal food, which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to turn vegetarian like you. Alhamdulillah. So yeah, and then when I went back to Malaysia, it was like much easier to practice Islam. So actually in Malaysia, when we're in primary school, we have to go to a religious school
Yeah.
from the age of 7 until 12.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, and then some people actually further their Islamic studies in high schools that offer Islamic subjects.
I see.
So-
So that's not, is that you have like an option or
Yeah.
it's a must?
No, it's an option.
Okay.
It's very optional.
Mhm.
So, what about you, Ahmed? Like, how did you find it? How did you learn about Islam and like the Salat and Ramadan and stuff like that?
Okay, so well, mostly when I was during my US time, it was mostly my parents teaching me everything. Okay, but then like towards the end of my 6 years in the US, actually my dad made friends with ustaz there.
Oh.
So I would usually go every weekend, once a week, to practice my Quran, my Salah,
That's
and
good.
everything. So yeah, but then after that, when I finished being in the US and I traveled back to my country, it was so much easier there to practice. You know, I'm surrounded, my whole family is Islamic, my neighbors, my friends, everyone. So it was much easier to practice and, you know, just be a Muslim.
Okay. What about you, Jada? How did you learn about Islam?
Oh, I actually learned by myself. As you know, I told you before, right? I learned it from TikTok.
Yeah.
And then I researched by myself. And yeah, Islamic contents that I can find easily on Google, so I Google it.
And especially because of the algorithm on TikTok, like if you search one thing about Islam, your whole FYP will be about
Yeah.
Yeah,
Islam.
definitely.
That's actually really good.
Yeah.
So Jada, did you feel like any discrimination against yourself when you wore a hijab in Thailand?
Yeah, as I said before, I feel insecure about it, right? But luckily, I have many supportive friends, apart from the Islamophobia.
That's good, yeah.
And I want to go for like funny story. So basically, the first one who told me to wear hijab is my Christian guy friend.
Wow.
So basically, we were talking about the differences between our religions, right? And then we talked until this topic. The topic was, which religion is the truth, the right one? And then we grew. And the last sentence he told me before he left, he said, "Go back and wear your hijab." And I was like, and I didn't feel unhappy or mad at him at all. I feel like it's a bit motivated me.
Yeah.
Even my Muslim friend has never ever told me to wear hijab. So I could say that it's kind of weird motivation so far for me.
So does that mean like after that argument, did you like straight on wear the hijab or did it take time?
I try to understand why do I have to wear the hijab. Yeah.
But the point where you started wearing hijab was when you encountered the TikToks.
Yeah, I could say that because before this, my dad forced me to wear hijab, but without understanding, you know. So I kind of like on and off with my hijab.
So at what age did you start wearing the hijab?
Like the full time.
Yeah.
7 months before I came here.
Wow. So before this, was it like frequently on and off?
Yeah, frequently on and off. Yeah, when I go to school, I took it off.
I see. So did you feel like you were the odd one out whenever you wore a hijab there?
Yeah, I feel like that because all my friends, even though they are Muslim, they don't practice Islam and they don't know about anything about Islamic stuff at all.
Were you the only Muslim person there?
No, I have two Muslim friends there, but yeah, as I said, they don't practice Islam that much. Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, I want to share a interesting story. So when I was in, I had an activity, like a program to do in Korea and Laos. So I would like to share like the difficulties that I encountered in those foreign countries where Islam is not the main religion. So for example, in Korea, it was quite tricky because since it's not like a Muslim country, so there was one time where I had to pray in a dressing room. Yeah, and apparently that this is a life hack. Actually, someone mentioned to me that this was a life hack. If you don't have a place to pray, you can pray in a dressing room. And I was so thankful that during that time, the dressing room was actually, it could fit. Like if I wanted to sujood and stuff like that. Yeah, because in Malaysia, it depends on where you go, but mostly it's like just enough time for you to, just enough space for you to change your clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I encountered in Korea. And then in Laos, okay, it was quite easier because we were staying in a hotel. So the coordinators were like very not supportive, but understanding. So if I had to pray or anything, I could just go to my hotel room and pray. But there's this one tricky part where we had a night market activity. So that night market activity, we didn't really have much time to do our Maghrib prayers. So we were scared that we wouldn't find a spot. We thought we would like just pray at the side of the road. But I was thinking it's a night market and the roads are very dirty. Yeah, I realized that there were a lot of cigarettes on the roads. So, I was very, if I had to do what I had to do, but thankfully before we prayed, like whilst we were searching for a place to do our wudu, we actually found a sign that said Indian Muslim restaurant. So we quickly went to that place and then we asked the owner, could we pray there? And they said that we could. So they gave room for us to pray, and I was so thankful during that time. Because if not, then I would have to pray at the night market with a lot of people, and the ground was like a lot of trash. Yeah.
Okay.
So you weren't the only Muslim there in the program?
I was with my other Malaysian friend, so we kind of stuck together and tried to find a place to pray together. So I'm very thankful that he was with me. Yeah.
So did you have struggle with the food there?
In terms of food, I had to turn vegetarian. So, I had to do what I had to do, becoming just eating vegetables. And actually, something that is interesting was one time, I was eating a sandwich, and then my friend told me that there was actually salami in the sandwich.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
And I was like, shoot, can I eat this sandwich? But I didn't eat it anyways because I didn't know that if the salami was halal or not.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show like you should be very cautious of what you eat. Even though it says that it's vegetarian, it could have, you know, like salami, for example, just randomly in there.
So it's not real vegetarian.
No. But I didn't eat it much anyways because I don't like vegetables.
Relatable.
Okay.
So as we know that Ramadan and fasting is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. So how was it for you growing up?
Okay, so growing up fasting in Ramadan, so I have got a lot of questions by my friends because they don't know about Islam at all. Yeah, so basically the most frequent asked question is like not even water. Yeah, you know, like yeah,
Yeah.
because like, they wonder like you don't drink, you don't eat all day, and
Yeah.
then I have to explain to them, yeah, I have to fast for a whole month, and then they ask again, the whole month without eating or drinking. Oh, and then I said, yeah, it's kind of like that, but from sunrise to sunset. Yeah, so there are a lot of misunderstanding in Islam.
I think that's actually the most difficult part is to get other people that are non-Muslims to
Yeah,
understand
you know,
the
sometimes
concept of fasting.
I lie to them that I'm on diet, so to avoid that kind of question.
To just avoid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. I also faced the same thing when I was in the US. So it's like they act like really shocked. It's like, why does your religion make you do this? You know, some people even say that, isn't that like torture?
Yeah,
You know, but I don't, you know, it's hard for them to understand, you know, the concept of fasting and everything.
yeah.
So at first I would always explain it to them, but then it got to a point where I would get tired of saying the same thing over and over. So I would just, you know, explain it briefly. You know, don't get into depth. So I wouldn't make things difficult for them. So speaking of Ramadan, how was your Eid celebration experience like?
Okay, so I was gonna start when I was younger. My parents told me that I am allowed to fast half day. Yeah, so I continue doing that until I hit my puberty.
Yeah.
So I have to fast all day. And the happiest moment about Ramadan is iftar time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the moment that I actually waiting whole day for. And you know, before iftar time, right? I prepared all the food, like drinks, dessert, and many food. But after I drink a cup of water and I feel full.
Yeah, I understand. I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
It's like you've been fasting all day, but then all of a sudden you get full so easily. So
Yeah,
it
right.
really upsets you. You want to eat
Yeah.
more.
I think it's shaitan also.
Yeah.
So in Malaysia, we have like night markets before iftar to just buy food for iftar. So in Thailand, did you have any of that?
Yeah, we have that a lot, like near the mosque. You can easily find
Ah.
that near the mosque. Yeah.
But is it like is it as extravagant as in Malaysia?
Oh, I don't know, but my taste is Thailand is better than Malaysia. To be honest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, for me personally, I would say like one of the things that motivated me to fast was Raya celebration.
Yeah,
Eid.
Eid.
Yeah. So at first I used to not want to go because I don't want to wake up early and get dressed and look nice and meet all these people and everything. But the first time I went there, well, I had such a blast.
Wow.
You know, it was like a very new experience. It was
It
such a
was-
good experience.
It was mind changing.
Yeah, it was mind changing. So from that moment, I knew that I wanted to go to every Eid celebration.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Especially for the eat money. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
exactly. Get that money.
And my mom always kept that.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of sad.
It's the same. My parents would just take the money, or they would just reject the money for me.
Yeah.
Really
They said
reject? Why would they
they're gonna
reject?
You know, well, when the family members want to give me money, like example, my aunt,
Oh,
my uncle,
okay,
you know,
okay,
their
yeah,
siblings,
yeah.
so they would say it's no need, it's
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
You know, it's a blessing. So I wouldn't really get the money.
Oh.
Or when my mom would take the money for me, but then later she would also need to give money to my cousins. So it's as if the money returned back.
It's like
It's a cycle,
recycling.
it's a
Yeah,
cycle.
it's a cycle.
Oh,
So it's the
that's so
same
sad.
thing. So yeah.
I can't relate to you guys because I took all the money and I happily spent it on the things that I wanted. Like I bought a lot of stuff back then, but you know, as I'm growing older, I feel like I have to save the money. So changing for the better. Yeah.
Do you still get money till now?
Okay, last year I did, but it's
Oh.
definitely reduced
Yeah.
because I look, you know, more mature. I look like
Yeah.
I'm working, so I don't get as much as back then.
Jada?
Yeah, me as well. After I turned 17, nobody gave me the money. It's so sad.
Oh wow.
It's okay,
What about
Jada.
you? What about you?
Oh, after 10, I stopped getting money.
Even worse.
I didn't really experience having my own money. Okay, so it's like not even that. I don't even have an allowance to begin with. This is not really practiced in my family. So it's usually my parents would usually take the money or handle the money for me.
Oh, I thought you meant like after 10 you grew a mustache or something.
Well, you're not wrong there.
Wait, what? You grew a mustache?
Well, okay, well, no.
Real.
Are you serious? Did you?
No, well, not at the age of 10. Okay,
Okay.
but around the age of 14. you could say, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of young.
So I guess I was a young adult.
It's okay.
So what is something that you're grateful for being here in Malaysia as a Muslim?
Okay, I'll let you guys guess what makes me feel grateful ever since I'm being here.
The food?
Da-dang.
I would say maybe that it's so easy to practice here.
Yeah, kind of, but not the right answer. But the right answer is my friends. You guys as well.
That is so cute.
Yeah, ever since I've been here, right, I live alone here without my parents for the first time. And sometimes I struggle a lot with the language barrier.
Yeah.
And the culture here. So sometimes they help me a lot with the things that I never know here, especially with the curse words. Yeah, they taught me a lot. I enjoy learning from them. Yeah.
Do you want to give a shout out to your friends?
Yeah.
Love you guys, by the way.
Shout out to 4A girlies.
Well, for me, something I'd say I'm grateful for. Well, there isn't really much difference in Egypt and Malaysia, but the only major difference that something that I didn't even know is the practice of Sunnah.
Oh.
The practice of Sunnah in Malaysia is much more than in Egypt.
Oh, really?
So there's so many things we don't really do Sunnah that much.
Oh.
So when I came here, you guess you could say I was pretty surprised. It's like I didn't even know it was part of Sunnah. So that's something I'm grateful for. Is I got to learn more and more about Islam.
That's a good thing.
So
Do
you meant like Malaysia is a bit religious more than Egypt?
I guess you could say that.
Wow.
Oh. Surprise.
Yeah. So yeah.
Do you have anything else that you were shocked upon?
Not really. I would say it's just mostly the Sunnah. I was surprised that like people eat with their hands. I didn't know
That's
that.
actually very common for Southeast Asian
Yeah.
countries. Yeah. You didn't know that?
I didn't know that at all.
Wow.
Well, since I came to Malaysia at quite a young age. I was only 12, 11. So I didn't really know much. So yeah. But when I was in Egypt, the Sunnah was in practice much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, I'd say that Malaysia is already like a very Muslim majority country. So I'm very grateful to live in my country, especially when I went to Korea and Laos. I felt like it was so hard to do religious practices. So I thought to myself like, I don't think I'd ever live in a foreign country. I just really love my own country.
Aw.
Yeah, a patriotic moment right there. Yeah.
Homesick.
Yeah, it's quite homesick as well.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting pretty tired here. You know,
Yeah.
my brain is hurting a little.
Same.
Okay, so I think we can end it here.
Yeah, let's end it here.
I think we call this today. Thank you so much for coming to our
Thank
podcast,
you.
Jada.
Thank you guys also.
You gave some very insightful perspectives
about Thailand.
Yeah. And you also, Ahmed.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll end it here.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I'm just say I'm very grateful to have you here and to hear all your thoughts and opinions and you know your whole experience about being a Muslim in a non-Muslim country. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in until the end of the episode and watching us and sharing our thoughts. Can we please get some love in the comments for our special guest,
Please
Jaida?
give some sarang hail.
Yeah.
Comment down below here, guys. Oh, here.
Yeah.
So, any thoughts, any opinions, anything you guys want to share, please do share with us because we would love to hear your feedback on our channel. All right. So, I guess without further ado, thank you guys for tuning in and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.